Hello and welcome as I count down my favourite TV shows of 2024. As I said with the movies, I'm a little bit behind, but we're getting there and wrapping things up before a slew of new series start in 2025. So take a seat and join me as I run through the stories I enjoyed on the small screen over the last year. We're starting off with one of 3 series in my list starring Ella Purnell this year, who can comfortably attend seemingly any television award show knowing there's probably an 80% chance she'll win something, and I see nothing wrong with that. So to kick things off, I had a ton of fun watching Sweet Pea, which features lovely Ella as the sweet but eternally looked over Rhiannon. Struggling with her father's death, among other things turning her quiet life into a nightmare, Rhiannon finally snaps and decides to deal with her problems head on, with a knife. This series twists and turns through her new normal as she evades the police closing in and still chases romance with office crush AJ amongst the carnage. Pretty devious, I must say. And I'm excited to hear that a second season of Sweet Pea has been confirmed and it's on its way, potentially later this year or 2026. Next up we have Has Been Hotel, which I was a little late to the party for, but it's an absolute riot. Crude, dirty, full of foul language and literal demons, this animated series follows Charlie Morningstar, the daughter of Lucifer, as she attempts to rehabilitate the fallen citizens of Hell in her freshly jazzed up hotel, run by a gang of complete horrors. However, one of them is voiced by Keith David, and that fella can do no wrong, and also has a very good singing voice. This show actually technically began way back in 2019 with a pilot episode, and was eventually picked up by Amazon for a full series early in 2024. It's also been confirmed for 3 more seasons, I think? It's an easy watch with fun animation, goofy characters to enjoy, and a soundtrack that will most likely stick in your ears for weeks on end, prompting it to make an appearance on more than a few Spotify-wrapped roundups in December. Hey look, it's Ella Purnell again! The second and final season of Arcane finally arrived in 2024, wrapping up the story of our beloved League of Legends characters in Zorn and Piltover, before Fortiche and Riot move to other areas of the League universe for several new series in the coming years. I'm sad to see them go, but it appears at least a few might be returning in other places. I did feel that Season 2 was rushed, with a lot being introduced and not all being resolved, but combined with the first season it makes a pretty unforgettable ride. Utterly stunning animation that looks like nothing we've seen before, incredible set pieces and action, and a soundtrack perfectly crafted to match our heroes' journeys, Arcane really does set the standard when it comes to video game adaptations reaching television or film. I could probably talk for hours about Season 2 itself, especially Episode 7, which if you've seen it, you will understand why. I'd highly encourage you to delve into the details of the series because it's immensely satisfying to know that not a second of screen time is wasted and everything will come back around. Though, with the budget reportedly somewhere near the $500 million area, I think it's to be expected that every minute should count. An amazing ride all the way through, and I cannot wait to see what comes next from that universe, despite not even being a player of the game myself. And speaking of video game adaptations, and Ella Purnell again, we were also treated to the excellent Fallout TV series from Amazon last year. Also featuring the unmatched Walton Goggins and my boy Matt Berry, Fallout dropped a literal bomb on us with 8 episodes of action and absurdity, and even better, a shit ton of practical costumes, sets, and effects. They really pushed the boat out with this one, trying their best not to let down a franchise as big as Bethesda's post-apocalypse universe. And for me, and the Game Awards, they certainly met expectations. Beating out Arcane for Best Adaptation, Fallout blew us all away with the adventures of main character Lucy adventuring through the wasteland. Ella Purnell and Walton Goggins put their heart and soul into this one, especially Goggins, whose hours of makeup work impressed us, shocked us, and also gained a lot of admirers. For a guy without a nose, he really was a hit with thirsty viewers. There might be recency bias at play here, but I'm firmly putting Squid Game 2 in the list, because in my eyes at least, I actually thought it was a step up from the first series. And while it does, slight spoilers, end on a cliffhanger, Season 3 was filmed at the same time and will be coming up very soon, so I can kinda live with it. I appreciated the alternative perspectives we got from the frontman and one of the guards, and thought it expanded on the games and the people involved very well. My biggest complaint, which might be resolved in Season 3, is that our side characters, the Special Forces team and the boat captain, didn't really do much of anything in the end. The switch up to different games, especially team-based ones, provided a good bit of variety rather than just redoing the original series, and I'm very interested in seeing who gets out alive after the absolute carnage we were left with in the final episode. Also, if anything happens to player 222 or player 120, I'm going to be first in line to buy pitchforks. On to my honourable mentions for 2024, a few others that caught my eye across various streaming services. We had the second season of House of the Dragon, the hit Game of Thrones prequel, albeit after 2 years of waiting. And to make matters worse, we also have another 2 years to wait for the third installment, which really takes the shine off things, especially after a very anticlimactic ending. However, the series was carried by its fantastic actor performances, especially Emma Darcy and Olivia Cooke, while Matt Smith spent most of the season wandering around haunted corridors like an overly long episode of Scooby-Doo. Another huge plus for me here though was the CGI work and sound design, providing some incredible scenes featuring the real stars, those big old dragons. We were also blessed with Season 3 of chef drama The Bear, continuing the story of our favourite malfunctioning Chicago gourmet restaurant. We were treated to plenty of cameos once again and a little more backstory on the main characters as they work to make their new venture a success. One standout episode for me was Abby Elliott's Sugar going into labour and having what turned out to be an incredibly engaging, dialogue-heavy episode with the excellent Jamie Lee Curtis. I've been watching The Bear since the beginning and it had me hooked from day one, but I do wish that Season 3 had been a bit more full than it was, if you'll pardon the eating pun. And last but very much not least, 2024 also brought us the historical epic Shogun, based on the novel of the same name. Led by the imperious Hiroyuki Sanada, Shogun follows the arrival of an English sailor shipwrecked in Japan in around the 1500s, and his journey to be standing by the side of the man who eventually becomes the military ruler of Japan. Shogun won 18 awards at the 2024 Emmys, setting a new record as the most awarded season of television in Emmy history. This of course sets the scene for a planned second season. However, with pretty much the entire novel of Shogun adapted, I have no idea where we can really go from here, and to me, it feels kind of unnecessary. But money and awards go a long way these days, so I guess we'll see what's next in the near future. And that about wraps us up. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video and maybe found a new series to binge if you happen to have missed any of the above mentioned. As always, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this and plenty of other content too, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy New Year!